Hey you guys, so says the leader coming at you. I wanted to give a shout out to a fellow YouTuber named Kiratwig2. He was the reason I decided to showcase this deck profile. It's a Supreme King Zark deck, and I basically downgraded my deck and used some of the cards that he used to construct it. I'd like to show it to you now. First off, we have Black Fang Magician. Black Fang Magician basically targets a spellcaster in your dark spellcaster in your graveyard and special summons it. And it has a pendulum effect. It says once per turn you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Its attack becomes half its current attack until the end of the turn. Then destroy the card. Next we have Chronograph Sorcerer, which is one of the main monsters in my deck. It helps me summon Supreme King Zark if I tribute the card and then banish a Ixi's Dragon card, a Fusion Dragon card, a Synchro Dragon card, and a Pendulum Dragon card to special summon Supreme King Zark. This is another main monster. I have 3 Harmonizing Magicians. It's one of the tuners in my deck. It can summon a Magician card if it's Pendulum summoned. Next we have Oath Dragon Magician, which can add a Magician card from your deck to your hand. Next the main card, 2 Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragons. That basically, when it battles a monster, any battle damage it inflicts is doubled. Pendulum effect is you can add a Pendulum monster with 1,500 attack points or less. Next I'm running a Performer Pal Celestial Magician, which gives you special effect, gives certain effects if a certain kind of monster is summoned, Fusion, Synchro, or Ixies. Next, I have Performer Pal Odd Eyes Dissolver, which, when special summoned by its own effect, can protect Pendulum monsters from being destroyed in battle. Performer Pal Odd Eyes Synchron, which is another tuner. It basically helps me synchro summon using a monster in my Pendulum zone. Next we have Purple Poison Magician, which is the Fusion Dragon counterpart of the Fusion monster I'm going to use in this deck. We have 2 Supreme King Dragon Dark Worms, which one of them can special summon from the graveyard if you have no monsters out on the field. Supreme King Dragon Odd Eyes, which can double the battle damage a Pendulum monster inflicts on a monster. Next I have Stargazer Magician to set a Pendulum skill, which has 1 and 1. And next one is Time Gazer Magician, its counterpart. I decided to have both of them in case I need to fusion summon. Next we have 2 Wisdom Eye Magicians. 2 Wisdom Eye Magicians just to round out the balance of this deck. And finally, White Wing Magician, which is the Synchro Dragon monster counterpart of this deck of my deck. Says if this Pendulum summon card is used for a Synchro summon, banish it. Also, Pendulum effect is once per turn. When an activated card or effect resolves, that targets a dark spellcaster type monster you control. Negate the effect and destroy this card. Now we're going to go into the spells and traps. Amazing Pendulum, which can add 2 Magician Pendulum monsters from your deck to your hand for a discard of 1 card if you have no cards in your Pendulum zone. Duelist Alliance, which is one of the main searchers of the deck. It can search out a Pendulum spell or trap card or a Pendulum monster with Pendulum in its name. Dragon's Mirror, which is one of the main cards I use to summon Supreme King Zark. It vanish from your field or your graveyard for fusion materials that are listed on a dragon type fusion monster, and special summon that dragon type fusion monster from your extra deck. 2 Dragon Shrine cards, which can help me summon, which can help me place Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon into the graveyard for the fusion summon of Supreme King Zark. Next we have Odd Eyes Fusion, which can fusion summon dragon type fusion monsters. And if you have no monsters, while your opponent does, you can also use Odd Eyes cards from your extra deck. 2 Pendulum Calls, which can allow me to add more pendulum monsters from add more magician and pendulum monsters from my deck to my hand. Then we have Pendulum Fusion, which can fusion summon monsters using monsters from my pendulum zone if they're used like that. If they're used as pendulum spell cards. Performer Power Popper Up, which can help me special summon more monsters if I draw the right cards. Polymerization, which will help me fusion summon if it can help me fusion summon one of the key monsters in my deck. Pot of Riches for draw power and also for helping me return Harmonizing Magician from my extra deck to my main deck, since it can't be special summoned from the extra deck. Return of the Dragon Lords, where I have 2 of them, so that I can bring back the dragons needed, so I can special summon from the graveyard dragons needed for my Supreme King Zark fusion summon, and also protect any dragons from being destroyed by removing it from play from the graveyard or banishing it. Then we have Sky Iris, which can protect any Magician, Pendulum, or Odd Eyes cards in the Pendulum Zone from being targeted with spell or trap with card effects. The next one is Star Pendulum Graph, which can protect spellcasters from being targeted with spell effects. And Super Polymerization, which can fusion summon with both sides of the playing field. And now for the traps, I am only running 3 traps here. Pendulum Dimension, which can give you a varied effect depending on what you summon. Fusion Summon or Fusion Synchro or Xyz monster. Supreme Rage, which is the support card for Supreme King Zark. If you have Supreme King Zark on the field, you can special summon as many Supreme King Dragons from your graveyard or extra deck. And Time Pendulum Graph, which can protect spellcasters from trap effects. It's the counterpart to Star Pendulum Graph. And now I will get to the extra deck monsters. The extra deck monsters are basically what I use to summon Supreme King Zark. I have Clearwing Synchro Dragon, which can negate the effect of a level 5 or higher monster and destroy that monster, and also gain attack depending on the original attack. Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon is the Xyz Dragon counterpart. Is the Xyz counterpart for this build. It can by removing 2 Xyz materials from it, you can have the current attack of a monster, and Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon will gain that lost attack. You have Predaplanet Verdeon the Conga is a link monster that can mimic a fusion or polymerization spell card that you send from your deck to your graveyard. It's also useful in the summoning of this card, Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, which can, when it's destroyed, it can destroy all special summon monsters on your field, and also on your opponent's side of the field, and also copy an effect monster's effect. Supreme King Dragon Clearwing, which once per turn can destroy a monster it battles and inflict damage equal to the original attack of that monster. Supreme King Dragon Dark Rebellion, which can, when for the cost of an Xyz material, can, when it battles a monster, it reduces that monster's attack to 0 and gain that lost attack. And this is the main card, Supreme King Zark. When it's fusion summoned, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls, and if it's destroyed, you can put it in the Pendulum Zone instead of the extra deck. Time Star Magician, which can search out any Magician Pendulum monster if you detach an Xyz material from it, and Zephyr Metaltron, which is the last of my monsters in the extra deck. It's summoned by sending 2 monsters that were summoned from the extra deck to the graveyard, and this will aid anyone who is pendulum summoning from your extra deck, because pendulum monsters have to be summoned from the extra deck, have to be summoned to an extra monster zone or to a link monster's link arrow that it's pointing to. So I hope you like this deck. And I once again, I want to give a shout out to Kiratwig2 for helping me, for inspiring me to showcase this deck profile. If you liked what you see, please like, comment, and share this video. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm So Says the Leader, and I'm signing off. Peace out.